PST Safanko, Makage Jabansaka. I want to know how it making the light. You're the imam, that is for an electrician to do. Electrician, if all you show me how to do it, I can do it myself. Tell me how to put the wire in the main switch. On customer qui la dit Madame Salah beta he ka samoti larger bless. Ha, who tell him say that? Emma Lintani larger bless. Look at me boy. I am blessed by Jah. I'm not a larger bless. Tout moun kote APP pété en oui. Yes, APP electrical travail say to get all the electrical materials that you need as you build and repair.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, a U.S. national in Dominica has been charged with attempted murder and kidnapping of an Italian man and is now remanded in custody. In the news from the region, St. Kitts and Nevis government takes further action to safeguard the country's CBI program, and internationally U.S. will impose 104% tariffs on some Chinese goods from tonight. The details of these stories and more are coming up next.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go! Turn your TV on. Listen to DBS on Digicel TV Channel 50 and Flow TV Channel 951. DBS News.
And welcome back. First off, a U.S. national residing in Casabruce has been charged with attempted murder and kidnapping of an Italian man and has been remanded into custody at the Dominica State Prison. The accused appeared before a Roseau magistrate today where the charges were read.
It is alleged that between March 24, 2025 and April 4, 2025 at Belleville, Casabruce, Milad Gamil Boutros of the United States of America did unlawfully and by force seize and confine a mid-sheriff of Egypt against his will. The U.S. national who resides at Baggio Gutta, Casabruce, is further accused of attempted murder of the Italian man between March 24th and April 4th, 2025 at Belleville, Casabruce. At his court appearance, Boutros was not required to enter a plea since the matters are indictable offenses expected to be tried at the High Court. The prosecution informed the court of its objection to bail. However, defense attorneys Wayne Norde and Gina Abraham Thomas, who represents the accused, did not apply for bail for their client, informing the court that they would defer the formal bail application for a later date. Consequently, the accused was remanded into custody at the Dominica State Prison. The matter was adjourned to August 8, 2025 for the commencement of the preliminary inquiry. Ronaldo Luke reporting for DBS News.
Special thanks to Ronaldo. Meanwhile, 24 people now stand charged with unlawful assembly following protest action in Roseau on March 19th.
Luvina Mavis Edwards of Bath Estate, popularly known as Blue Blue, appeared before Magistrate Pearl Williams on Tuesday where the charges read to her. It is alleged that on March 19, 2025, at Victoria Street in Roseau, the accused unlawfully, riotously, and tumultuously assembled to the disturbance of the public, contrary to the provision of Section 4 of Chapter Number 1002 of the Riot Act of the Consolidated Laws of Dominica of 2017. At her court appearance, the defendant was not required to enter a plea since the matter is an indictable offense expected to be tried at the High Court. During the hearing, Police Prosecutor Inspector Edwards raised no objections to bail and did not propose any bail conditions. Consequently, attorneys Ronald Charles and Joshua Francis, who represents Edwards, presented Albert Astafans as the proposed surety. Following an assessment by the court, Astafans was deemed a fit and proper person to stand bail for Edwards. Bail was granted in the sum of $25,000 with no conditions attached. The matter was adjourned to August 21, 2025 for the commencement of the preliminary inquiry. Ronaldo Luke reporting for DBS News.
Special thanks to Ronaldo for that report. The police have begun a program to destroy over 300 firearms which were confiscated from criminal activities. The program is a collaboration of the police, CARICOM Impacts, and the U.S. Embassy in Barbados. Assistant Director of Policy, Strategy and Innovation at CARICOM Impacts, Calixtus Joseph, told a ceremony at the SSU compound in Monbruce this morning that the destruction of weapons should not be taken lightly.
So, Why the destruction of weapons? And the media and I guess the general public will be asking why the minister is saying he doesn't have money and why he's not using it back for the police. That would be the question they'll be asking. They should just use that back and give it to the police. So why the destruction of weapons? The destruction of confiscated, unserviceable, and obsolete weapons is a vital step in our ongoing effort to strengthen public security and prevent armed violence. Even when weapons are no longer in active use, whether they are seized, whether they are outdated or damaged, they continue to pose a threat. If not properly destroyed, they can re-enter illicit circulation, stolen from storage facilities, trafficked across borders, or sold through illegal networks, eventually finding their way back in the hands of criminals. Destruction ensures that these weapons are permanently removed from our communities and that they can never again be used to threaten lives or undermine the rule of law. Moreover, unserviceable weapons, those that no longer function reliably, are not without danger. They may be discharged accidentally or be stolen from inadequately secured stockpiles. Destroying them eliminates these risks entirely and affirms our commitment to responsible weapons management.
Mr. Joseph says the destruction of 300 firearms is a step to a safer Dominica.
Officers, today we commence the process of assisting the government of Dominica in the destruction of more than 300 firearms. But what does this really mean for Dominica? Each of those 300 firearms represent the potential of violence, the potential of a shooting, a potential of a victim, and a potential of a murder. Now, we often think one firearm is one shooting, one killing, one murder. But if you watch the statistics, one firearm may be used in many murders. So yes, we are destroying more than 300, but it doesn't mean they are equivalent to 300 murders. It would be much more. Each gun destroyed today is a step towards a safer Dominica and a more secure Caribbean. The activity forms part of the broader CARICOM Impacts and Mines Advisory Group Weapons and Ammunition Management Program, which delivers comprehensive support to member states, including training, equipment provision, infrastructure upgrades, and assistance in implementing international best practice in weapons and ammunition management. The program is more than a single event. It is part of a holistic strategy to reduce gun crime in the region.
Assistant Director of Policy, Strategy and Innovation at CARICOM Impacts, Calixtus Joseph. Meantime, Minister for National Security, Reverend Blackmore, has hailed the cooperation which exists between the U.S. government and Dominica. The U.S. Embassy is funding the program to destroy over 300 weapons over the next few weeks.
But today, for me, I want to place some emphasis on the continued long functional cooperation that has existed between Dominica and the United States of America. And today's event speaks volume of the magnitude and the strength of that cooperation that we have enjoyed over the years with the U.S. government, irrespective as to which administration that's in office. The United States government has provided tremendous support for us. I can recall as a police officer in 1988 being part of this SSU training from the U.S. Airborne section of the Army. And that is something that we maybe need to revisit, because tremendous training was provided in those days. And most of the buildings you're seeing here that got destroyed by Mario were actually constructed by the United States government. And for that, we're grateful.
Minister for National Security, Reverend Blackmore. Preparation works are now underway for the Water Sector Strategic Development Project. This as DOWASCO has announced the majority of materials for the project and they have been received in Dominica. The Water Sector Strategic Development Project is being executed by DOWASCO with financing from the Caribbean Development Bank or CDB under the United Kingdom Caribbean Infrastructure Fund.
DOWASCO is pleased to announce that the majority of materials for the Water Sector Strategic Development Project, that's the WSSDP, have been received in Dominica, and preparation work is underway to enhance the water supply systems in several communities across Dominica. The WSSDP is being executed by DOWASCO with financing from the Caribbean Development Bank under the United Kingdom Caribbean Infrastructure Fund program, with funding pledged by the UK government following the devastation of Hurricane Maria. In addition to improving water infrastructure, the WSSDP will provide employment opportunities for several residents across the communities where the project will be implemented. DOWASCO is in the process of engaging community liaison officers, site technicians, and temporary workers, skilled and unskilled, to commence work on the ground. Small local contractors will also be invited to bid for various components of the projects.
Public Relations Officer at DOWASCO, Kimani Seja says upon completion, the project will ensure a more reliable, efficient and sustainable water supply to the communities.
Now, this project will have a significant positive impact on the water infrastructure in communities such as Castle Bruce, Grand Fond, Rivière-Syriac, Montjean, and the West Coast. That's to include communities like Salisbury, Colibri Street, Grand Savan, and also Calibishi, as critical upgrades will ensure a more reliable, efficient, and sustainable water supply to these communities. As part of the preparatory phase of the project, initial groundwork has already begun in Grand Fond, where rehabilitation of the access road to the intake is currently ongoing. And this marks the first step in what promises to be a transformative initiative for all of these communities. And for further updates, DOWASCO will continue to keep the communities that will be impacted informed, and will also keep Dominica informed on the progress of these projects.
Public Relations Officer at DOWASCO, Kimani Seja. A student of the Seneca Primary School has scored their highest in the second competition in round 1 of the DBS Radio Felix Henderson National Reading Competition. 4 schools participated in this afternoon's competition, which took place at the Celibia Primary School.
In 4th position with 239 points, Miss Ranella Pascal from the Montjean Primary School. In 3rd position with 342 points, Chaska Frederick from the Salibier Primary School. Coming at number 2 with 344 points, Emoni Prevost from the Saint-Sauveur Primary School. And coming at number 1 with 354 points, Kiara John of Seneca Primary School.
And that was Assistant Coordinator of the DBS Radio Felix Henderson National Reading Competition, Annadale Jacob. Tomorrow, the reading competition moves to the St. John's Primary School in Portsmouth. The schools which will compete tomorrow are the St. John's Primary, Roosevelt Douglas Primary, Savant Pie Primary, Dubla Primary, Penville Primary, Baroness Patricia Scotland, and Tebow Primary. Whilst on Thursday, the Coolabistry Primary, Collio Primary, Salisbury Primary, Western District SDA, Warner Primary, Campbell Primary will compete in the 4th competition of round 1 at the Massac Canefield Primary School. The competitions will begin at 2:30 p.m. and will be carried live at DBS Radio's social media pages. And Dominica's gold medalist and National Bank of Dominica's ambassador Thea Lafort-Gatson has emphasized the importance of implementing agricultural programs and initiatives for young people. Her comments were made during the closing and handing over ceremony of agricultural supplies for 3 schools, that is, under the National Bank of Dominica's ESG program.
I'm so grateful that this initiative is occurring and that we and a team at National Bank of Dominica are able to partner with ICA and the ESG to ensure that we are not only establishing very healthy agricultural benefits and habits, but also nurturing it to produce more in the future. It really is not about the now, it is always about the future. And here today, this is a great beginning, emphasis on the word beginning, of beautiful things to come. Like we said, we are using up a lot of resources here on Earth. Climate change is occurring all around us. It is important that we are creating and establishing institutions and programs that ensure that these young people have access not only to food, but nutrients to help grow them physically, mentally, and emotionally. We want them to be able to get everything they need. And our educators are taking care of that in the classroom, and now they can also help us take care of that food-wise, and that's exciting.
And that was Dominica's gold medalist and National Bank of Dominica Ambassador Thea Laforgatson. On our feature segment this evening, we highlight Lucien Blackmore, a licensed professional civil engineer with 38 years of experience in infrastructure design, project management, and public administration. He currently serves as the Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Environment, Rural Modernization. Lucien Blackmore, who is our feature on the DBS Evening News, led critical national moments such as coordinating resettlement efforts after the devastation of Tropical Storm Erica.
I just want to say, over the years, my inspiration and my satisfaction have been derived from seeking to make a difference to others. That engineers is about community development and nation building. But I think the first building block, engineers, is about building individuals. The first building block is building individuals. And tonight, what really gave me the honor is really trying to be of inspiration to the younger ones like Darian and others to realize it's not only about the money, but most importantly is how effectively you can impact a better quality of life for people. Most of us who are drawn towards engineers are usually fanatics of mathematics and the sciences. And I recall when I went to the UK, the first course was by a social scientist. And the name of the course was Engineer in Society. I must have made about 10 attempts to get up from my seat and walk out. I said, what kind of abstract thing is that? Engineer in Society, I didn't come here for that. And I can tell you, fellow colleagues, up to this day, I can say that has been one of the best courses I've ever done over my professional life. It really taught you to understand your role as an engineer is to seek to make an improvement and betterment in people's life.
And that was Lucien Blackmore, recently recognized by the Dominica Association of Professional Engineers, taking us to the end of this evening's featured segment, The National Focus. Up next is news from the region and international.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go! Turn your TV on. Listen to DBS on Digicel TV Channel 50 and Flow TV Channel 951.
DBS News.
And in the news from the region, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis has blacklisted several international agents found to be in breach of conduct in a decisive move to safeguard the reputation of its Citizenship by Investment CBI program. This bold step highlights the twin pillars now defining the nation's approach to economic citizenship. This recent crackdown is the latest in a series of reforms introduced over the past decade. From rigorous due diligence processes to strict applicant vetting, St. Kitts and Nevis has continuously evolved its CBI framework to meet and often exceed international standards. Internationally, the White House has confirmed that the U.S. will impose 104% tariffs on some Chinese goods from tonight. It comes after China refused to meet U.S. President Donald Trump's deadline to withdraw its own retaliatory levy on the U.S. The U.S. is also set to impose a so-called reciprocal tariffs on about 60 of the world's offending countries tonight. Meanwhile, U.S. stocks have rallied after days of turmoil, but analysts warn confidence in the markets remain fragile. This brings us to the end of this evening's news. Up next is sports.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
And welcome to your DBS Evening Sports for today, April 8th, 2025. First off, we bowl off with some cricket as the regional 4-day tournament has gone down to the wire and 3 teams are in with a chance to lift the title as that competition heads into its final round of matches on Wednesday. Defending champions Guyana lead the points table with 111.6 points. Trinidad is on 105.4 points and Barbados are third on 100 points with a slim chance of being crowned champions. Guyana will meet Trinidad in the final match. Guyana's captain Tevin Imlak says the confidence is high heading into the final match.
I mean, we've been playing good cricket. It shows because we're top of the table, so we're very confident. We have the necessary pieces together. We have our planning and we've done our planning and stuff. So we just need to execute our plans and again treat it as another cricket game. And not try to get too ahead of ourselves and think too much about the championship. I mean, if we play good cricket, and that would obviously take care of itself. At least that's the way we feel.
Could you just speak to the importance of Kevin Anderson and how instrumental he's been to the success of the Guyana Happy Eagles so far this competition? Over 500 runs to his name.
Yeah, I mean, it's a coming of age for him. Exciting talent. You know, he would have done well last year. Didn't necessarily go on to score a lot of hundreds, but this year you could see the growth. It's exciting for Guyana cricket, you know, to see a young player, you know, improving. And something that we're keen on, you know, having young players develop and move from strength to strength every year. So he's been an important part of our team this year. He's been scoring a lot of runs, the most runs in the team, and it's good to see.
Guyana's captain Tevin Imlak. Meantime, Trinidad's captain Joshua Da Silva says his team has to play consistent cricket and win the right moments.
We knew the last game of the season was going to be a straight shootout. It's like a final. So, the vibe of the camp is still really good. We know where we went wrong and what happened in that last game against Jamaica, and just try and not let those things happen again. And, in training today, everybody's happy and ready to go again, excited for this clash.
Joshua, we've seen a brilliant start from Jason Mohammed to the competition, but recent games, he hasn't really fired based on the expectations that he started off with. Have you had any discussions with him? And what are you looking forward to for the finals?
Yeah, obviously we know the experience that Jason brings. He did start off really well. He has 550 odd runs, I believe, in the tournament. It's good to see what he started with, and it's also good to see when he wasn't scoring, other people put their hand up and we're still able to get those big scores and get wins under our belt. So it's definitely not a one-man show as you can see it. So but yeah, the conversation with him is we're backing him, and we know the experience and the talent that he has. So he's gonna come good. We know it because of the experience and what he brings to the table. He loves to play against Guyana as well. So I have no doubt that he's raring to go and he's gonna put his best foot forward. As Tevin said earlier, runs aren't guaranteed as cricket we play. So yeah, for him, he's trying his best, and now I have the utmost confidence in him every time we step out on the park.
And that was Trinidad's captain Joshua Da Silva. Barbados will take on the Leeward Islands in the other match and will need an outright win coupled with some bonus points, and will also need a favorable result in the match between Trinidad and Guyana. Meantime, taking a look at the top performers heading into the final round of the matches, Jason Mohammed remains the leading run scorer with 552 runs. Kevlin Anderson of Guyana has 522, Tevin Imlak 505, and Joshua Da Silva 481 runs. The top Volcanoes batsman is Shadrach Descarte with 308 runs. In the bowling department, Kari Peer has 37 wickets, Verasamy Permal and Joshua Bishop 28 wickets each. The Volcanoes' leading wicket taker is Kenneth Demba with 18, while Gillen Tyson has 16 wickets. Still in some more sports here, the Windward Islands Volcanoes head coach Kenroy Peters is hoping the openers can end their campaign in the regional 4-day tournament with a big statement. The Windward Island Volcanoes have struggled with the bats all tournament as the Windwards will play the West Indies Academy in the final match of the season in Antigua. Peter is hoping to end the tournament with a strong showing.
I would definitely like to see our openers with a bit more self-belief, going out there and giving themselves an opportunity, a chance to score runs. And I think one of the things that we probably need to do as a top order is spend more time at the crease and batting more balls. We call it playing the boring game. I think we can do that. And most times when you're back against the wall, you have no choice but to push yourself off and try to get back to the top. So I think this is an opportunity for a lot of these players, everybody, to actually show that they still deserve or they still want to play at this level. And I think they do, but just the belief in actually trying to do it. We need to get more into that belief system and believing that I can do it, because I can believe in you, but it all starts with yourself. And that's something that I think the batters need to start say, I can do it. Around. As we always say that we still have one more game, two more innings, and I still believe that. But it's up to the players again to have that belief that they can do it, turn their form around, and make a contribution towards the team's success. It's not being the best season, but as the skipper just mentioned, there is not the result that he looks at. He looks at the positives, and we have seen a lot of positives. It's just that it's not coming together how we want it to be. And I think it's a setup for us to do greater things. May not be this season. It could be from next game, pushing on for next season. But I know it's all part of the learning curve and experience from everybody, from management to players. So I'm confident that this game, we're going to see a difference in each and every individual who goes out there and play.
And that was Windward Islands Volcanoes head coach Kenroy Peters. And kicking into some football, sports coordinator Trevor Shillingford feels the FIFA for Schools program will only be a success if the information is able to reach its targeted audience. Shillingford, speaking at the opening of the 3-day workshop at Windsor Park, says that the participants have a responsibility to take the knowledge back to the schools. The FIFA for Schools program is being funded by FIFA and has been endorsed by the Ministry of Education.
Teachers, you are here today as part of the capacity building. It would mean, therefore, that whatever you're exposed to would be useful in you implementing the programs at your schools. So therefore, we do not expect you to be part of the workshop over the next 2 or 3 days and return to your schools and have it as business as usual. We expect you to implement the things that you learn through this workshop with your students and to ensure that the program is a success in Dominica. I want to also at this time thank FIFA for this particular investment. And the FIFA has shown over the years that they are willing to put back the various resources that are derived from football participation back into the development of the sport of football. And their legacy programs is a prime example of what international sporting organizations can look towards as a template in terms of developing the sport that they are charged on administering.
Sports coordinator Trevor Shillingford. And bowling into some more cricket, head coach of the national under-19 cricket team, Fernix Thomas, is backing his boys to put Monday's poor showing against Grenada behind them and bounce back to beat St. Lucia as the Winlot Windward Islands under-19 tournament continues on Wednesday. After beginning the tournament with a win on Sunday, Dominica went down by over 100 runs to Grenada on Monday. Thomas says he is not too concerned with the batting and thinks the team will bounce back.
Obviously, we started very positively. Guys came here, we knew what we wanted to do, so we went out and we had a few plans that we executed. Basically, all of the plans that we have and achieved them. In the second game, however, we, as you said, fell short with the bat. We had a very good start with the ball. Guys did what they had to do, and somewhere in the middle, kind of lost it away when guys went a bit flat. And as I kept telling them that we were ahead, the team was only scoring about 3 runs on over against us, so we should be ahead. Even we were bowling, looking like we were going to bowl the full 50. But having said that, we went into bat and we never looked like wanting to chase down the total. We're just going to go back to the drawing boards and execute the plans that we have, that we would set. The competition is very much wide open. Everybody has played 2-on-1-1. So we go in there knowing what our goals were from the start of the tournament and to execute our plans and to bring pride and some success for Dominica.
Thomas is also concerned with the outside interference or inference with players receiving instructions outside the camp.
I think there's this thing going on where guys are afraid to make mistakes because of a lot of outside interference. And you know, I'm somebody who I don't hide stuff. I speak on stuff and let people know what is going on. And I clearly think that the guys have too much outside interference. We're here as a team. The DCA trusted myself and Kevin James as the manager. And under 19 cricket is something, it's not Mount Everest task. As we are here as responsible people, we know what to do, we know what is required, and all I would ask is just that the outside interference just allow us to do what we have to do.
Head coach of the national under-19 cricket team, Phoenix Thomas. The other match on Wednesday will feature Grenada and St. Vincent. In some more sports here, West Indies women will begin their quest to qualify for the ICC Women's World Cup when the qualifiers get underway in Pakistan in the early hours of Wednesday morning, Caribbean time. The Windies will face Scotland in their opening match. That game will get underway at 12:30 tonight. The Windies enjoyed mixed results in the warm-up matches with a win over Ireland but a defeat against Pakistan. The World Cup qualifiers will feature the West Indies, Bangladesh, Ireland, Pakistan, Scotland and Thailand. The top two teams will advance to the World Cup later this year. And finally, in sports here, we bounce out with some basketball as the Trafalgar basketball court is undergoing a major rehabilitation project. Over $600,000 has been spent on the refurbishing of the court and improving on existing amenities. The project forms part of the Basic Needs Trust Fund project. As project engineer Alexis George says, the new court will enhance the sport of basketball in the Rosa Valley.
What it entails basically is a complete rehabilitation of the court surface. New rims, you're also going to have washroom facilities, change rooms, and also a media room, VIP area. So while the initial project spoke about an indoor facility, for budgetary reasons we could not undertake because the cost would have exceeded the ceiling of the BNTF program. So we'll be upgrading the court, new lighting, as I mentioned, a vending area as well for the community, and bleachers. We'll be rehabilitating the bleachers as well. So I think with that new look, we can expect more persons to come and start playing sports again at the facility. So to be basically like a new court, painted with markings and everything. And also we'll be accommodating netball as well. So to be the backboard and the nets I can rotate so you can change spots. So I think it will encourage young persons to return to playing basketball again.
Project engineer Alexis George. Another sporting facility to benefit under the BNTF project is the Dalis playing field, which is undergoing rehabilitation. Well, this is all the time we have for DBS News and Sports here. Special thanks to the DBS News and Sports team and link personnel, DJ Halo Boy.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.